6:30 a.m. finds him at his home gym where he works out regularly. This is a day in the life of Mombasa County Governor Ali Hassan Joho. He is an internet sensation with a massive following on social media platforms. He's been described as youthful, charismatic and stylish. This is the Ali Hassan Joho we see today. But he was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth. 43 years later, the house where Joho was born still stands in Majengo, Mombasa County. We meet his aunt here. And she has fond memories of his upbringing in this humble home. Memories that the governor also holds dear.
I was born in a place called Sidiria Majengo, and I must say I was blessed somehow, because I lived in Majengo, I lived in Kongwea, then moved to Kisauni, then stayed in Old Town, which eventually, even though at the beginning when I was growing up it seemed quite a struggle, but when I made an entry into politics, I realized that was some kind of a blessing.
And as the young Joho grew up, he remembers tough times.
I had quite some challenging period or time growing up. It was not easy for me to go to school. In fact, I skipped 1 year. After my class 8, I could not directly transit to Form 1 simply because I could not afford the school fees. And therefore I did what I did, but when I had the opportunity to make it better, I did it. And that's what matters for me. It is not what is in the past, it is what you are able to do for the future.
He adds that previous questions in political circles over his education was an attempt to intimidate and stop him from running for the governor's post.
I am focused to better my education as I go forward in my life. So yes, I had a struggle. And the system is very clear. Our laws allow people to transit immaterial of how well or how badly you do in your previous education. So I took that opportunity, and here I am today, whether they like it or not.
Indeed, it was not the end for him, as today many associate Mombasa County's pioneer governor with opulence. He attributes this to starting and running a business at an early age.
I started working at a very early age, and my first transaction that changed my life, I was roughly about 20 years old. And I remember I got a clearing and forwarding job, and I made a check of 6.6 million. That is the first money that I saw, and I was like, yes, this is it. And after that, I slowly grew my business and diversified. In 1997, I started pesticide control and waste management for KPA. When they had tendered, nobody was doing that business. I was the only one doing it here in Mombasa. So I had a contract for about 5 years or so.
Ali Hassan Joho's entry into politics in the year 2004 caught many unawares, as he was little known and a first-timer in politics.
It wasn't easy because I had no political history at that time, and I had never had anybody from my family that was in politics. So I was the first one, and running from a very tough constituency with a serious, tough, challenging political terrain, I must say.
He would later be elected Member of Parliament, Kisauni constituency.
The first politician that sat me down and gave me advice of how I need to run my politics is the late Sharif Nasser. Had gone for a function in Kongwea, and that is my first appearance on TV. And fortunately, or unfortunately, it was with Ali Mtenzi when Kukuru Kakara was at its peak. You know the way Ali Mtenzi is, the following day, the late Sharif Nasser called me to his house and told me what politics entails. So he told me in politics there's no negative publicity, and particularly at an entry point.
Today, he is the governor of Mombasa County.
We have health issues. Today, I can say we have made tremendous progress in that we are doing what could not be done earlier. Open heart surgeries, modern technologies even in surgeries, and then now we are just about to do the first kidney transplant in the public hospital out of Kenyatta. There are, of course, many issues. Like the garbage was a big issue for me. Kibarani, for example. Yeah. Kibarani is almost 60 years old. So many leaders have tried to close Kibarani. We're turning it into a park, though it's not completely done. But we see the number of citizens that already go there to spend their weekends. It's unbelievable. So that's where we are. And today Mombasa is clean.
On a Thursday evening in the county, the governor joins traffic marshals in controlling traffic in what Mombasa residents know as the traffic happy hour. On weekdays at 5:30 p.m, traffic marshals close the incoming lane to town from Shell Links Road to Fidel Odinga Road all the way to Coast General for 5 minutes. They then open both the lanes to Nyali from Coast General Abdallah Farsi Road. This has helped ease traffic jam.
You know what? You need to come to Mombasa, visit Mombasa, see the infrastructure that we have developed, visit our health facilities, for example, visit our ECDs, look at our enforcement, because to run a city runs beyond basic needs. For example, I am running Mombasa. I need to create efficiency. Yeah. And the way to do it is also to manage traffic.
The governor has recently been on the spotlight again after being linked to drug trafficking in the coast region by Nandi Governor Stephen Sang, among others.
They are attacking me, but because they are focusing on some business involvement, it means they are members of my family that cannot defend themselves. So the only way I would be able to do that for them is through a legal process. 10 years down the line, if there was some truth, some kind of action would have been taken. You can't try to build on a narrative for 10 years that has no ending, And for me, it's a non-issue because it's been there. In Kiswahili would have said, your record yata inaenda kutoboka sasa. It's been played and played and played, but it's getting nobody nowhere.
How then does he make his money away from politics, I ask?
I am governor, I'm deputy party leader of ODM, but I have a lot of time to still run my business. I oversee my business, and I have time to every day look at what is being done in my private office. Even when I have to come home at midnight, I'll do that. But I have to see what's going on, because I know at some point that will be my fallback plan, go back to focus on doing business.
Governor Joho has recently come out strongly attacking Deputy President William Ruto over the alleged Aror and Kamarer Dam lost billions.
7 billion is a lot of money. 7 billion would have changed many lives. In fact, Mombasa County government, the last allocation, was slightly under 7 billion. We're running an entire county for a whole year with that kind of amount of money. So therefore, when somebody says it's just 7 billion, obviously, we have to say something about it. When there are issues of corruption, come on, man. We're simply saying, let's address them.
He has announced plans to run for the presidency in 2022.
We'll give it a shot because I know what I want, and I know that I mean well for this country. And that's where we're going to go. No doubt, one important factor that we all somehow have been able to pick is to have an inclusive government. And who says someone from the minority cannot be able to run government? And therefore, for me, we want to anchor our discussion or conversations on matters exclusion and creating a Kenya that is for all of us.
I ask him why he keeps his family away from the limelight.
I am the one to serve the people, not my family, and therefore family will remain family, but I am basically I would say, a family member of many of my constituents in the county of Mombasa. And therefore, family will stay away from politics always.
But you know, we're using the bag because of her.
Away from politics, I ask him about what he does away from his busy entry as governor of County 001.
Immaterial of the position I'm holding, I have to live my life. I have to live my life. Because there certainly shall be life after politics. And I have learned sometimes to delink my social activities from politics. And if you looked at the way I run my social media, for example, my Facebook page has over 1 million following. That, for me, is the focus of what I do in terms of the county and development and my politics. But on Instagram, I'm engaging with you on social grounds. I just want to know how you feel, what I do, show the people that, you know, this is how I live my life. And I enjoy it.
Indeed, he's not one to shy away from dancing to his favorite music.
Oh yes, I want to be happy. I want to be happy. Sometimes I want to stay away from you know, these shenanigans and this kind of insinuation that we all see that are brought forward in our political process. And therefore I want to be away from that. And for me, the way to do it is to just sometimes have fun on your own. Yeah, you can just play music and dance even when you're alone. Kula ngoma, my friend. You ever heard of that song? Vunja mfupa. Eh, kabla nini? Iko, eh.
Kama bado meno iko.
Sasa mimi meno yangu bado iko. Acha nivunje mifupa, my friend.
He's been linked to several Tanzanian celebrities, a move he says is strategic.
The bongo flavor market is huge in East Africa. And therefore, if I want my people to make an entry into that market, there has to be some sort of collaboration. And therefore, for me, I'm doing this very strategically to be able to use the goodwill and the friendship that we have with some of our Tanzanian friends to bring other upcoming artists from Mombasa and Kenya into the market.
Yeah!
001.
He wears the number of the county proudly and has been branded 001. This being his last time as Governor Mombasa County, he says even as he eyes the presidency, his formula for success is simple.
You could have all the money in the world. You could be as rich as you could imagine. But if you're not happy, there is actually no difference between your being wealthy and that man who has no cent every morning. So for me, it's about satisfaction, really.
This is the story of Ali Hassan Joho.